everybody, welcome to more of the CES 2021 coverage. I am Ktdata, and I am excited to actually do something that we usually don't do because usually I'm at the show. First of all, I want to welcome one of my buddies that I've been trying to get working with a video for a long time now. So I want to welcome everybody, the one and only Joey Image. How are you doing today, my friend?
Good evening, sir.
I've
never been to a CES show, and I'm very bummed about that, I guess.
I mean, if you don't like walking 10 miles on the floor of all tech, it's probably a benefit. But
I go to a bunch of other stuff. I mean, there's a video game convention around here, literally called a video game convention. It's in Jersey every year. I go to that. I go to Comic-Con. So I'm not adverse to walking a long time and a lot of hours.
But even Comic-Con, that's still not even like a third the size of CES. It's big.
Well, so. I think the more of the thing with CES with me is the hotel and the flight.
Yeah, the flight.
Because I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah, the hotels aren't cheap. I'll tell you that. That's one of the things I'm glad I don't have to pay for this year. But I'm so glad that you're able to do this. And what we're going to do today is kind of cover some of the big announcements that were happening over at CES. And these aren't everything because there's way too many announcements to cover in one video. But these are the ones that caught Joey's and mine's attention. And, we just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So, Joey, how about we jump into it?
Let's go.
All right. So for the first one tonight, Lenovo, they actually announced a Thinkbook Plus Generation 2 laptop. And what's interesting about this is on the lid of the actual laptop, there is an e-ink display that you actually can use to kind of display your apps and stuff and have your notifications show up there. So you don't have to open up the laptop. And it uses, since it's e-ink, it uses a little bit less power than having your screen on, so it can be on all the time. E-ink stays until you change it. So what's cool about this is since it's the second generation, they showed off the first generation last year, but it's actually a little bit bigger in terms of the display on the lid now. So it's 12 inches instead of the 10.8 inches on display, and then can give you a resolution, which this is nuts, Joey, on an e-ink display, 2560 by 1600 pixels.
I just got rid of a monitor that wasn't even that big. That was on a desktop.
Yeah, I'm like, that's e-ink on a laptop. Then, of course, just like everything, it's thinner and lighter, runs Intel 11th Gen Core processor, and then has your Thunderbolt 4, which is amazing, and Wi-Fi 6. And then it even works with the Thinkbook charging mat, so you don't even have to plug it in. If you have it on the charging mat, it wirelessly charges, and you can run up to 15 hours on the laptop or 24 hours when just using the e-ink display. So it's supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out in a couple months. First quarter 2021, and somewhere around $1549. They haven't announced the price in the US yet, but it's probably going to be around there. And then they're also offering a version of this laptop without the ink display, which why would you want it, at $1,199. So, Joey, what do you think about this? Having a display on top of your laptop, not just inside your laptop.
I like the fact that you don't have to. I mean, it's not that it's a hassle, but like having to pick it up and open it and then mouse over to whatever you're looking at. I like the fact that it's just there. Like, I don't have to do anything. Yeah. I mean, I don't even have to touch it technically. I'm going to wake it up or whatever, but I like the fact that it's such minimal power consumption too. That's such a big thing, obviously, for laptops. So I think this is a big plus.
Yeah, especially when
super interesting.
Yeah, like just trying to check. Oh, I got an email, and I don't want to pull out my phone because my laptop's right here. I don't have to waste the power, or you have sticky notes. Like, I use tons of sticky notes.
This is so great. So at my day job, my monitor is bordered by sticky notes. I mean, there's just all over the place.
Yeah, and you can't quite move those because then they'll start flying everywhere. But if you have it on your laptop like that, I'm like, oh, okay, I got a 3:00 appointment I got to get to, and then just peace out on there. So I really love that idea of that. It's a little pricey, but actually I don't think it's that bad considering the specs you're getting.
Yeah, but I think for the convenience and for the innovation and the size of the e-ink screen, it's not. I mean, and the technology. I mean, it's literally two monitors, basically two displays back to back. That's really cool to me.
Yeah.
Just that fact in itself is like, hey, this is my monitor, and then I open it up, and like, wait a minute, that's my other monitor. That's really cool.
Yeah, and you don't have to. That's the cool thing about it, is you don't have to have the same thing on both monitors either. So you
Right.
can just shove all your, widgets and stuff to the e-ink display. And then when you're like, oh, I just want to, look something up on YouTube,
Well,
you can put it on the full one.
Yeah. So what I would in the e-ink one is there a color is coming for that? Like, is there a color option coming eventually?
I don't know. So that actually kind of relates a little bit to the TCL announcement. They have a display that they were kind of touting, that they say it works like e-ink. The difference is it's a normal LCD, but it doesn't have a backlight to it. It has a reflective surface, so it reflects the light that's in the room onto it, and kind of gives you kind of similar display where it gives you colors. I know e-ink, they've been developing colors.
What I was thinking was like the e-ink screen. If they ever make a color version of that, I can be typing away here doing my work while you're sitting on the other side, like watching a movie on Netflix or something on the other screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So two birds, one laptop.
I could see that happening, but the problem with e-ink displays is the refresh rate is actually pretty low in terms of that. And I know they're working on color, but I haven't kept up recently about it. But part of it is just the cost of it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yeah, that would be interesting to kind of have, maybe you're like coming in for an interview or something. You can have the questions pop up,
Right.
like a problem and that they can look at and visualize without having to hand them a sheet of paper and stuff. So,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Now, Joey, the question is, which one of us is actually going to get this first?
I wouldn't. I'm not really a big laptop guy. I like the stuff that NVIDIA announced yesterday. Yesterday or Monday, one of those, or yesterday or two. I don't even, whatever the hell day it was. Yesterday or Tuesday. I don't even remember now. Every day, since I haven't been able to leave the house because of the Corona thing, every day seems to like flow into the next.
You see, this is the nice thing, is you're already getting some of the CES experience right now when you don't know what day it is, because that's what happens when you're at CES. I don't know what day it is.
So. Yeah. But so I liked some of the 3060, 3070, etc. NVIDIA stuff. But I'm not. But other than that, I'm not really a big laptop guy. I've never had. I like my iPad, and I've never really needed anything other than that. Never really needed a laptop for stuff. So I probably wouldn't buy either of these. And I don't understand. I don't see the point of being excited about this. I don't see the point of someone that's excited about this and then buying one without the e-ink display.
Yeah, like I was like, well, then
why even offer? I
mean, there's a dozen laptops around with similar specs, so it's like, yeah, okay.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe they had like 6 million laptop parts of each laying around, but they only had like 5 million e-ink displays. So they're like, well, now we have an extra million. Let's make a million without it and sell off everything else.
I mean, yeah, that could work. I don't think I'm gonna get it because you might lose a little respect for me after you hear this, but I really like my MacBook. Like,
that's okay. I'll allow it.
Like, especially
the first iPhone that came out was the first Apple product I ever owned, so I'm still kind of new to Apple.
Yeah,
newish, I guess.
That's probably going to be my next laptop, is a 16-inch MacBook Pro that's running the M1 chips or whatever the next iteration of that is.
Yeah.
Because I just, everything I've ever needed to do is that. Like, if I need to edit a video and stuff, I use that instead of
that's
Premiere.
the place to do it.
All right.
Well, that's the platform to do it on.
Yep. So that was, our laptop news. Trust me, there are tons of laptop announcements, and you can go check. I mean, Asus alone announced like a dozen laptops.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think they announced 20 or something like that. Somebody announced, who was it that, it was from yesterday's presentation that said, between all the different versions of the new thing and between all the different third-party vendors selling it, there's a total of like over 70 new versions of whatever they announced. I forget if that was, man, now I don't remember now.
Yeah.
It's going to kill me until I figure it out.
Yeah, but there's tons.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, there's tons of that. So now we're moving into a venue where I didn't know you were interested in this, Joey, but we're going into the bathroom.
Together?
Sure, why not?
Hey, let's make my first appearance on your show special.
Yeah. Hey, if the bathroom had this, I'm not going to complain. So
you know what? If I had these things already in my bathroom, I would buy one of those laptops so I'd have more reason to stay in there longer.
So Kohler announced a bunch of bathroom designs, And so some of the things they introduced was, first of all, a $16,000 bathtub that is voice controlled. You can use your smart assistant with it. And it also includes aromatherapy. So there's lights, there's RGB around it. So, gamers will like it because it has RGB. And then it has a fogging mechanism and then has aromatherapy. So it feels like you're in a spa, but you're really in your own bathroom. So, I
guess that's cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if people actually use that would normally go to a spa, that may end up paying for itself.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think like a spa day is like $300-400 for a woman, I assume. My wife goes every few months, and it's always a few $100s. So you figure you do that like, I don't know, 10 times or 20 times, you're getting at least some of that back in this one thing. But it's $16,000.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't justify $16,000. Like, I could go in my tub right now and turn on my the Apple Podcast app or the Apple Music app or whatever, and I'm already using hot water, so I'm already getting steam. I could turn on a light and have my phone or my Apple Music, and there's my spa experience, and it cost me like $4 for a little bottle of bubble bath.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I see this a little for you and me. This is probably for some of those hotel rooms or those fancy B&Bs. That's one of their gimmicks. Is
if there was a hotel that I knew of that installed this stuff in it, I would definitely check it out. I would definitely go at least one time to just to experience it.
Yeah, so that's where I totally see this, and it's CES. Sometimes you want to just show the glitzy stuff out there. Now to something that's probably more kind of in our range. They announced a whole bunch of touchless bathroom faucets and stuff. So there's a bathroom faucet that you can actually install on top of your existing one, I believe. They haven't announced the prices on it, but they said they're going to have a bunch of toilets that you can flush without touching. And then they're actually even making a toilet. And I don't know if I've never had to replace a toilet, but they have an intelligent toilet that has the touchless stuff, and it comes with like a heated seat, auto opening, a remote. What I don't. Okay, and
auto opening,
and it comes
How
with
lazy can you be?
It comes with a bidet, and I guess it's easy DIY installation. All you could take this home right now, Joey, for a grand total of $3,100. Well, not right now, this summer.
That's kind of a lot for the toilet thing, but I think it's cool. But I'm actually surprised that the touchless sensor faucets are not already a big thing around the world, because they're in hotels everywhere and restaurants, but they're not at like homes. Like, I don't know people that have these in their house. But I don't understand the the touchless toilet thing that's got a handle on it. Well, in the picture on the website on CNET, it's got touchless toilet, and it shows someone just hovering their hand over it, but it's still got a handle on it. So I don't understand.
I mean, I'm guessing it's kind of like a backup. So if the sensor stops working, you can flush it. Or this would be dumb if they did it. It actually doesn't work, and it's just ornamental, so people know where to wave their hand. Like, that would drive me nuts.
Actually, that would not be dumb, because I can see people like standing in front of it doing this, like, where do I go? I don't know where to put my hand. I don't know what's going on. Like dancing in front of it to get it to flush. But if you put a handle there, then your brain knows, hey, the last 30 years, my hand has been going there to flush, so I guess I go there. And then you just do it, and it works. And you know what else? I just thought of this now. I didn't mention this before we went live, because I just now thought of this, but I just got a puppy 2 months ago. I can train him to just wave his paw in front of this thing and flush the toilet. I mean, can I train him to use a toilet?
That's awesome.
I just thought of that. I could be like, hey, man, come here. All right, now just do that. That's it. All you got to do is that. Or I'll put something up there where, like, if he sees himself, he always gets excited and jumps around. So I'll put like a little mirror right there. So he'll see himself. He'll jump around. The sensor will see his little paw, and it'll flush automatically.
Oh, man. I love it. We need to see if this is doable. You email Kohler. Yeah, I need you to email Kohler right now and say, hey, I have this idea. Can you help me develop this?
Toilet. A touchless dog toilet.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I'm
great.
gonna, you know what? I'm gonna have my own booth at CES next year. Even if it's virtual, I'm still gonna go to somewhere in Vegas and just set up a table and just talk. I'll just do a live stream in the street.
I mean, people do that all the time. You'd believe how often people
Yeah,
just
I
walk
know.
up to me and I'm like, okay. Um, all right. So now that we've finished up in the bathroom, let's kind of go back to one of the big things that CES is known for is TVs. And this one's kind of
Yeah.
interesting too. So LG has announced that both Google Stadia and GeForce Now, so if you guys are unfamiliar with that, those are game streaming services where you don't have the computer next to you. It actually connects to a server that has your graphics cards and stuff, and it actually streams the gameplay to you over the
Right.
internet. So they've announced that their TVs that are coming out in 2021 and 2020 will have support for both of these services. Um, so that way you don't have to have a console in your living room. You just have to have the Bluetooth controller and a subscription to this, and you should be ready to go. So I wanted to ask you, Joey, have you tried any of these streaming services? Google Stadia, GeForce Now?
I have a membership to GeForce Now. I haven't used it in a while. When I used GeForce Now, actually, it was in beta, and WoW was still on there, which Blizzard pulled it off a while ago. Which, you know what, is interesting because in the presentation, in this CES presentation, World of Warcraft was one of the logos in there. So it makes me think that it's coming back, like on their screen where they displayed just a whole mess of logos of developers that are using GeForce Now. World of Warcraft was one of them, which makes me think either they're going to bring it back, now, or they just haven't updated. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't used it in a while, and actually, now that we're talking about it, I'm going to end up trying it tonight because I have new internet service now. The last couple
Oh
weeks,
yeah, did you get fiber?
yeah, I got Verizon Fios. I
I
used
hate
to have
you.
Optimum, just regular cable, and it was like, it was 400. So my speeds were 400 down, 35 up. 35 up was the highest that they would go. And I was paying 180, 188, 187 and change a month. Now I have
Jeez.
Verizon Fios. Yeah. Now I have Verizon Fios. My speeds are 980 down and 880 up, and I'm paying $80 a month.
Oh,
So I'm saving $107 a month, and it's more than twice as fast upload or download. And it's, I mean, more than 1,000 times. Well, no, not 1,000. It's 100. I don't know. It's a lot faster. All right. So I can, like, for example, the first thing I did when I got it installed was I uploaded a 2.4 gigabyte video to my YouTube channel just to see how it was, and it was like the whole process on Optimum was like maybe 18 or 19 minutes, something like that. Um, I guess that was just the upload. That wasn't like uploading, processing, and then me adding all the data and everything. So it might have been less than that, 13 or 14 maybe. But I did it with when I got Fios, and it was like 2.5 minutes or something, 3.5 minutes, something like that. And I'm like, this is amazing.
yeah.
So, and now I can finally, because of that speed, I can finally, because the TV in my living room is obviously on Wi-Fi. I don't have I plan on installing a 65,000 foot Ethernet cable eventually, but I can
Exact length,
finally
right?
stream,
Exact length.
of course, but I can finally stream 4K to that TV, and it doesn't stutter or stop or buffer off of my Plex server. So I'm very happy about this new speed. So because of that, I'm gonna have to try GeForce Now again.
Yeah. So like how was it even on your old connection, like in terms of the quality? Did you notice any lag or anything with it?
No lag. And the thing is that I would get my old monitor was 60 hertz, so I would only get up to 60 frames a second in most games. Um, my monitor now is 165, but I used GeForce Now with my previous monitor, which again was 60 hertz, so I would get like around 60 FPS, even in WoW. But I connected to WoW through it, and I got over 200, and I was like, "This is amazing." The only thing is, like, you have to log in each time, which means I don't have all my add-ons, I don't have my password saved, I don't have all, the stuff the way I have saved on my PC, so it's there every time I load up WoW. I don't have that, so I played it for. That's why I didn't play it all that long. I did it for a couple of weeks. I thought it was really cool, but again, all my add-ons and my settings stuff were on my local PC, not obviously on NVIDIA servers. So that became kind of a hassle. But I do think it's really cool, and Again, I do want to check it out again with this faster internet I've got now.
Yeah, I'm actually excited, and I was hoping for more TV companies to actually announce this because I know, you and I, we have we have PS5s. We love our consoles and stuff, but I really feel
Yeah.
like the future of gaming and to even expand to more people playing games and stuff, like having it built into a TV, it's almost a no-brainer, right? So they don't have to worry
I
about.
love the idea. I love the idea of like you said earlier, just sitting on the couch with a Bluetooth controller and just have GeForce Now or Stadia going.
Yeah, and then
I haven't tried Stadia yet. I've also actually haven't heard much good about it, but
I,
I like the idea of even if Stadia does end up being garbage, GeForce Now is there. There's a second option.
yeah,
You
apparently
know,
Stadia is one of the best
so
ways to run Cyberpunk.
I did hear that somewhere, but I haven't had any problems with it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like 45 to 50 FPS, just and I'm running a 1080 Ti, so I don't have
Yeah.
anything crazy. So I
Yeah.
don't have DLSS, I don't have RTX, but I haven't had any problems.
Yeah, that's actually what I like about these streaming services and stuff. Like, when you say 1080 Ti, you say DLSS and all that stuff. I know what you're talking about, but the
Yeah,
average consumer is going to be like, "What? I just want to play Cyberpunk." And I feel like
exactly, and
that's
they don't have to know because they can connect to GeForce Now.
yeah, they're just like, "Oh, I have it in my LG TV." So I really like that they're announcing this, and I hope they kind of announce this because ever since I've discovered game streaming at CES's long ago, I've been hoping that it would actually become more and more popular, and it looks like 2021 might be the year where it makes more waves in the world, and to see if people are interested. So continuing along our path of TVs and stuff, we're back to TCL. They're announcing that they're going to start offering 8K TVs, and they're also going to do the OD0 mini LED TVs for 2021. So if you guys are wondering, so 8K. I mean, some people don't even have 4K TVs. I don't have a 4K TV in my house.
You don't?
No, because everything's on the computer. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
on
I guess.
monitors. So they've announced that, and then the interesting part about this is those OD0 mini LED TVs is so instead of using OLED tech, they're actually using mini LEDs, and the way that works is the LEDs are super small, so that means they're closer together, which means it allows you to kind of control the colors and stuff a little bit more than you would with your normal LEDs. And then the nice thing about this is the reason they call it the OD0 means that there is 0 millimeters between the backlight layer and the LCD panel. So that means you're going to get super thin TVs out of this. I know they're going to start selling their 85-inch 4K TV that has this technology for about $1,600 coming soon.
Yeah,
So
that's not bad at all. That's low.
yeah, and and it's super thin. That's the thing that boggles my mind every year is when you go to CES, you see like these paper thin displays now out there. Do you have
Yep.
any of those low profile TVs?
No, I wanted that LG wallpaper one that was out a couple of years ago that I thought was so cool. I still think it's really cool. But no, in fact I just bought a this has got to be like 2 inches thick now, even though
Which
it's a
sounds like it's
2020
so
model.
thick, right? So thick.
Yeah, I know, but I just bought a 50-inch 4K Samsung to use as a second monitor, and because 4K monitors are way too expensive. This was only $300, so it'll get me by for another year or so until I buy an actual 4K display.
Yeah.
But I don't have any. I mean, mine are all small enough to mount on a wall, which 4 TVs in my house are all mounted. But I really like that. Actually, is it the one that we were talking about before? The gallery.
Yeah, the gallery.
That I think is like the upgraded version of the wallpaper TV, which is really cool. I still think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think
But
that's even like
I
you can magnet mount that. You don't even need to drill holes into your
yeah,
wall because it's that thin.
yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. That's how the wallpaper one mounted. I've seen like I think Unbox Therapy did it, and like J2 Sense did videos about it. It's insane. And like there's so the just the price for $1,600 is I mean, you can't get it right now obviously, but when it comes out, like I paid $1,500 for my 65-inch 4K Samsung that's in my bedroom. I mean, my living room.
Yeah.
And it's like it's 4K HDR10, it's 4K 60 actually, and it's HDR10, and it's like I got it in June of 2016. It was manufactured in May of 2016, so now it's almost 5 years old, which is insane to me that it's that old already. And like, I paid more, or no, I paid only $100 less. That's what it is. I paid only $100 less than these new like 8Ks. I'm like, it's only 5 years, man. Give me some time.
Yeah, and what's nuts is like, so if you guys aren't familiar with the TCL brand, they actually make displays. So a lot of your
They
name
make the
brand,
Roku TV.
yeah, a lot of the name brand TVs you see out there, they're the guys who are actually making displays. And what they did a couple of years back was like, okay, we're selling it to all these different companies. How about we sell directly to the consumer too? So then they started coming out with their TVs, and over the years, they've partnered up with Roku, so that's why you have the interface for Roku, which I think is awesome. They've actually made a pretty good name of themselves, especially for displays in the lower end of the market. You're not having to spend $3,000, $4,000 for like a Sony TV, and you can get pretty
Right.
decent quality. And they've done all the right things. So I really like how that when you hear TCL announcing things like this, that means that a lot of that technology is going to start coming into the mainstream. So the normal displays that you would go out and buy, and not the super fancy ones that only I can dream of owning one day, but in reality I won't. So I really like that. And then I think along with the TCL area too is they actually, since they do make displays, they actually put a prototype phone out that actually you kind of open it like a scroll. And
so weird.
You can like
unrollable.
you just unroll it and you have a tablet size screen on there. And they're like, since we have the manufacturing capability, we wanted to kind of test this out and see how people would respond to it. And personally, if they actually came out with that phone and it was decently priced, i.e., under $1,000, I probably would get one.
That rollable phone display thing kind of reminds me of that Wallpaper TV, because that's how it looked. It was just so thin; it was able to be folded and rolled up.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just crazy.
Yeah, that's some of the things about CES is it's not always stuff that you'll see in the store instantly.
I'm an iPhone guy.
ideas.
Well, I'm an iPhone guy, so I'll never have the roll-up phone.
Oh, you'll have it like
unless
5 years after everybody else
Apple decides to go with it. But
yeah, I totally love it. I love that. All right, so now we're done with kind of displays and stuff. Our final news story. This one's excited because if you guys watch the channel, one of the most popular videos that I get at CES is when we go talk to ArcadeOne Up. And I got to ask you, Joey, so you went to the arcade growing up, right?
Oh God, are you kidding me? One of my dreams growing up was to have my own arcade machine in my house.
So I think you'll be excited because the two of the titles on here are near and dear to my heart. So ArcadeOne Up, they announced more titles that they're bringing, and the first one that they're announcing, 4-player arcade X-Men. I love that game. That game is one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to that. So, I think I want to buy this and mod it, and just I'm looking for. I don't know if I'm gonna buy this one yet. I like the way it looks a lot. I like the control panel.
Yeah, I think this is similar to the Turtles one, but that X-Men game. Oh my gosh!
I think the turtle. I mean, I think the Turtles control panel is larger than this. That's what I like about this one. I think this one's a little bit more condensed. But I like it. Looks so good.
Yeah, I love
and
this.
like my ArcadeOne Up machine. Like I'm not even done with it yet. Like I'm done with it hardware wise, but on the outside, like I want to get rid of the Street Fighter logos because it's got more than that on it now. Like mine, I got the Street Fighter one, which I forget how many games were on it. I think it was just 3 Street Fighter games, and I added a lot. So now there's 2,424 games on it.
Yeah,
are you? So
I
want to get rid of
gun for that too.
No, I don't have a light gun. I don't have a trackball, but I would like to get a 4-player machine and hack that.
Yeah, I would too, because I mean I love and this is the one I specifically like because I clearly remember this was the machine I was always at when we went to the arcade. It was the X-Men game.
And you know what I like about this machine is that it's actually got well, I don't know if this will have it when it comes out, but it's got the coin slot, the coin door in the front of it, which they don't have in the previous ones. I mean, I haven't seen pictures of every cabinet they've made, but at least my Street Fighter one didn't come with it. I had to buy a secondhand. Oh, yeah, I guess you can't see it because the what do you call that? The stool's in the
stools
way.
are.
But I have an actual working, legitimate arcade machine, coin slot, double slot on mine, and I had to buy that from somewhere. I had to cut the wood myself, install it, mount it, and blah blah blah. So I wonder if this is just a picture or if it's actually going to be on there when this cabinet comes out,
Yeah,
because they haven't done that in the past,
yeah, it
and
might
it
be.
looks really good like that.
And if we
Even
were,
if they're dumb, so even if they're dummy slots, it would look cool. I got real ones because when my nieces and nephews come over, I'm always like, you can't play unless you put a quarter in. So I literally have like the piece. There's a piece that goes on the inside of that. It's just a metal box
yeah,
that goes. So the wires aren't exposed and stuff on the inside. So I took that off and I just lay it underneath the coin slot. So if you put a coin in, it just lays there. But I've since disconnected the buttons and I just added regular, coin, press here to insert coin buttons. But that's why I got that in the first place, so I can
that's
have
awesome.
my nieces and nephew, or my niece and nephews give me money.
You mean I can't try to stick metal slugs in there to try and trick the machine? Like,
Oh my god, on a string and pull them out real quick. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
I remember doing that. I remember doing that in vending machines with dollar bills. You would put you would double up a piece of tape, I don't know, 2 feet long, and then once it went in halfway, you would rip it out. So you had the dollar, and you still had the credit for $1 on the machine. And I remember doing the coin trick at arcades.
Yeah, I love it. So
But like I said before, like one of the things I always wanted growing up was my own arcade machine, and now I have one with 2,400 games, and it's glorious.
yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, and if you don't even want to mod this cabinet, it's also going to come with. I don't actually remember this game that well. Is Captain America and the Avengers, and then Avengers in Galactic Storm. Let's be honest, you're going to play X-Men.
I don't remember either one of
those. And then for your Don Bluth fans, they're actually coming out with a Dragon's Lair cabinet too that has Dragon Lair, Dragon Lair 2, and Space Ace. And then another game that's close. They're coming out with one other cabinet is the Killer Instinct machine.
Killer Instinct, yeah,
and it has Killer Instinct 1
awesome.
and 2, and then of course Battletoads. But
is there a picture of it? Oh, there is. Oh, see, the Killer Instinct one looks boring though.
Yeah, that's
because it's like not a lot of. It's just black with some decals on the sides.
Yeah, the X-Men one I think is the best.
X-Men one looks so good.
Yeah, and then they're also introducing this one's. I think is an interesting one. Is the Pong bar? How do they announce it again? The stand up.
It's like the stand up. Yeah, it's not a tabletop. It's not a regular cabinet. It's like a bar table. I want one of these, and I want to hack it. Like this thing looks amazing. Yeah. I never even seen one of these. Just I've seen regular tabletops, but this looks really cool.
Yeah, so it's a 4-player standing pub table, and it comes with 8 different Atari titles that you can see on the edge. And I like this because this is actually. Did you ever see their head-to-head Street Fighter machine?
Yes, I believe so.
Kind of this is kind of an iteration of it. It's so the tabletop one was you were sitting at a table and you sit at the ends of the table, and what would happen is the screen would be split in half. So one half you actually see is pointing one direction, the other one half is pointing the opposite direction. Where with this Pong one, I think they've designed it to, if you're playing Pong, the two people that are across from each other are seeing the Pong screen, and then I think it rotates as you move along. So I really love the idea.
Yeah, that's what it looks like because there's controllers on each side, on all four. I don't know, all four sides. All 4 sides of the screen, I guess. It's a circle, but so it looks like player one. It's always the opposite. People sitting across from each other, but it looks really cool. And let me say there's been, I don't know if you how closely you follow the ArcadeOne Up modding community. I clearly do because I modded my own, but there has been a lot of headaches and a lot of people doing YouTube videos and trying to figure out how to get Dragon's Lair working perfectly. It runs on the Daphne emulator, but there's still some issues and bugs and blah, blah, blah. So I have a feeling somebody at ArcadeOne Up was like, you know what? These guys, as good as they are, they can't get this thing working. Why don't we come out with our own and then they'll buy ours? So bravo to ArcadeOne Up for even thinking about that, coming up with that idea, because it's just I can log in. I mean, I can log in. I can run Dragon's Lair on mine. I get the opening video, and then it dies. It crashes back to the main menu, and I can't figure it out. And I'm using the Daffy emulator, and it just doesn't work. And it just there's been such a headache, that game. Like, so many people wanted to play that, and I think it's a brilliant idea for whoever came up with the idea to build or to sell a Arcade1 Up Dragon's Lair cabinet.
Yeah, that's
such a good idea.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
I mean, I'm talking like as a businessman, like as a business person, not as a customer. Like, from the business end of it, brilliant idea.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love. When I was talking to Arcade1 Up, they're like, yeah, one of our biggest things is we love, ever since we came out, we love taking feedback from our customers and seeing what they did. Like, those risers, they initially weren't even planning on making those until people were like, hey, do you have anything? They saw that people were kind of hacking together. Small. So they started making those.
My riser is not official. I mean, you can see it on the bottom. It's just a black box down there, but you can actually see right about here where it's two different sizes. Yeah. So the darker one on the bottom is the riser. My brother-in-law just got I got the measurements off of ArcadeOneUp.com for the risers, and my brother-in-law is handy with wood and a table saw. He just built it for me and spray painted it, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
it doesn't chip. It looks perfect. So, it's the exact same size. I'm like, this is terrific. Why am I going to pay $40 for it? I paid $19 in material, and he just built it for me.
Yeah,
instead of $40 that they were.
So yeah, that's what I love about Arcade1 Up is they're well aware of what people are doing, and they take feedback and try to make things that kind of fit for them. So those are kind of our big news stories that we wanted people to talk, wanted to show you guys about. Obviously you can tell now that both Joey and I we love pretty much anything with a chip with it, but gaming,
yes, including Doritos.
Yeah. Oh man, have you tried those 3D Doritos yet? The Cooler Ranch ones. Oh my gosh, so good.
No, I know what you're talking about. I haven't tried them yet.
I loved them growing up, so they're not quite the same, but they're still good. But
I just want to mention one more quick thing about Arcade1 Up. The Killer Instinct cabinet will also have Battletoads on it, which was highly popular. Yeah, it's Killer Instinct 1, Killer Instinct 2, and Battletoads. And Battletoads was like super popular. The thing is, like, it's Killer Instinct themed, so like everything is Killer Instinct 2, and then there's a tiny little Battletoads logo at the bottom.
I mean, Killer Instinct's the best. Come at me, internet.
Oh, you know what I just noticed it does say design not final, so they may add more to this. But right now it looks very boring, but I am very interested.
Yeah. Killer Instinct is near and dear to my heart because that was one of the first video games I got for my Super Nintendo. So, but I feel like people are going to come at me now because I know Battletoads is highly regarded to some people. All right. So before we leave you, we wanted to kind of leave you guys with, not quite announcements, but products that really caught our eye during this year. And then, so the first one, we're going back to LG. So Joe, you want to tell everybody about the display that,
the display, the curvable, flattenable. I don't even know how to describe it in like layman's terms. Like the way they display, the way they describe it was just it's a panel that can be bent for gaming or flattened for watching TV. I guess that's in layman's terms. So anyone it's not a tech guy can understand it. But I just think it's cool and innovative because it's like the way that they described it in the article was if you want it curved for like game immersion, but you don't necessarily like it curved when you're just watching, you just want to watch television or you just want to watch a movie or whatever. I think that's such a cool idea. And it seems like comments like, you know what, this thing and like the touchless toilet and things like that. Once I hear about them, I'm like, that's such a brilliant idea. Like, why couldn't I think of that? Like a toilet where it's got a sensor. I use sensors every day. I use touchscreen stuff every day. I couldn't think to put a sensor, next to the handle and just go like that and it flushes for me. Like nobody else thought that if, some people like a curved TV, some people don't like the curve. So nobody thought to just make them both in one, just make it bendable. I mean, I don't know. It seems like a brilliant idea to me, and that how can so many more people not have thought of this?
I know some of people are like, what does it matter if it's bendable enough? I remember when bendable TVs came out, I thought that was dumb because it limits your viewing angles of being able to see stuff. But then when I used a curved display for gaming, I'm like, oh, this is cool because it kind of wraps around and you can see a little bit more of that. That makes sense.
I love videos where like I don't remember who it was that did it. It might have been Jay's 2 cents for his racing sim rig, where he's got like 3. He's got like the big one in the center and like 2 like smaller ones on the right and left. But it's like so immersive. They showed somebody showed a demo of that at CES. It might have been on Monday or Tuesday of a racing sim, and it was like amazingly immersive. It was 3 curved monitors. It was just so cool looking. I just love the immersion. I'm on 1 monitor in front of me and 1 mounted on my wall. I would love to have 3, 1 in front of me and 2 to the side for more immersion. But I definitely like this idea. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting 3 of these.
Yeah.
3 of the. I mean, they're 48-inch, so they're not bad for a monitor. I mean, for a TV nowadays, that sounds kind of small, but for a regular PC monitor, I wouldn't mind getting 3 of these right next to each other and just going to town.
Yeah, I totally love that you can modify in between the two because it's for 2 different use cases. And then the other thing that we didn't mention too is that these displays are going to feature the cinematic sound OLED technology, which means the screen actually vibrates and it's the speaker itself.
That's the sound, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the speakers
cool
aren't built in; it's the screen. So that's really cool.
Yep.
Where you have the sound. Like I've heard this before, and it's nuts because like you're looking at it and the sound's just coming at you. It feels a little bit more immersive and it allows the panels to be thinner.
I've never seen one in action like that before, though. But I've seen videos and stuff about them, but I've never seen one in person.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to kind of see them when you're standing in front of it. I'm like, oh, where are the speakers? I'm like, there's no speakers. It's just coming out of the screen. So I totally dig that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, that was the one that caught your eye, and then the one that caught my eye. I'm
definitely interested in that.
So I got to ask you about this, Joey. Are you a morning person? Because I am not.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm a night owl.
Me getting out of bed is very, very difficult. You can ask anybody I know trying to get me out of bed.
Because I have a day job, I don't have a choice. Yeah. But I'm not a fan.
Yeah. So this is I know it's coming to Kickstarter soon, but it is called the Mog Morning Egg. And it is this little egg thing, and you can use it as kind of a night light or a mood light too. And what happens is that it sits on its stand. I wonder if I can get you a picture. So it sits on a stand, and then what happens is when it's time to wake up, it starts playing a song. I think it does bird chirping sounds, or I think you can change the sounds that you want too. And then the only way to get it to stop is you have to go pick it up and then walk it to the sink and then put it under cold water for 10 seconds. The whole idea is...
I didn't see this at all. I missed this presentation.
So the whole idea of this is that if you're already at the sink, you might as well wash your face with the cold water to help you wake up. And that's the only way you can turn it off. And they've actually gamified it too. And the more you do it, you eventually hatch an egg and you'll have a virtual avatar in the app that kind of does different emotions and stuff for you. And like, cheers with you and stuff too.
I have never. I missed this completely because this is one of the wackiest things I've heard of.
I love this idea so much because I've tried the ones where it like launches something and you walk across the room and then you just plug it back. Like that doesn't get me up. This physically makes me go turn on water, and I think it would work well. It's not quite out yet. They're looking to launch a Kickstarter in February 2021, and it's for Android and Apple, and that's all the details that I know. And what's cool about it is the founder and the creator of the company, she really just made this for herself because she like us had trouble getting up in the morning, and I know like, well, there's nothing else like this, and I would want to use it, so I want to see if anybody else uses it or not.
A smart egg. Turns off the alarm only when you go to the bathroom and wash it with. You know what though? You know what I just thought of? Lazy people like me are gonna just keep a bottle of water on their nightstand. I just thought of that. Like maybe in a bowl, so it doesn't get wet all over the place. But I'll keep this thing in a dry bowl. I'll wake up the water. I'll make sure the water's already open, and I'll just tip it over enough to shut this thing up and go back to sleep.
I mean, so I gotta ask: is this a dumb idea or is this a brilliant idea? Because I think it's a brilliant idea.
I think it's a. I don't know. I want to say it's a dumb idea, but sometimes the dumber the idea, the more money it makes. But I just feel like me and like a lot of people I know would be like, if they tried this thing, like they would just put it in like a bowl right on their nightstand, and then when the alarm goes off in the morning, you have a bottle of water already there, and you just pour that over it, and that shuts it up.
Yeah, that seems like way too much work for me.
It's a lot easier than having to get up and put pants on and walk to the. Well, I don't know if you have to put pants on, but you get up and like walk to the bathroom and have to be able to see, because I can't see that great when the minute I wake up.
Did it not solve the problem that you had? Would you not be up already?
See? Well, no, but that's the thing. If I just pour water on, I can go right back to bed. Go right back to sleep.
Yeah, but then I'd have to remember to have water there the day before.
Since I'm I always have. I never forget. I always have at least one bottle of water on my headboard. But you know what? Since I'm a Raspberry Pi guy, I can even rig up something where like I don't even need to do anything with the water. It's just a button. I just press a button and an arm comes out of the Raspberry Pi and pours the water on top of the egg. I guess if I'm going to go through all that trouble, I just won't buy the egg.
Yeah, you probably.
Which I didn't think of until the way I'm thinking about it in my head is I have to buy it just so I can defeat it, because I have to defeat it.
I mean, at that point, why don't you just make the arm pour the water on top of you to wake you up?
Yeah, I guess that's a better idea.
So, like, I think this is a great idea because it's inconveniencing me enough that I'm pretty sure it would wake me up, or somehow, and I wouldn't put it past me, I would learn how to sleepwalk and not wake up until like halfway done washing or putting it underwater, because I've defeated alarm systems before by just learning to ignore them. So that's my only trouble.
I think this is an interesting idea. I don't know if I think it's good or bad, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's why I wanted to feature it, because it's a little out there.
Oh my god! You know what's really cool? You let this thing wake you up, and then you go into your touchless faucet and let that thing pour water in it while you're peeing in your touchless toilet.
Yes. And telling Alexa to flush my shit. I mean, that was the other thing.
Yes. So you're all set. Everything is completely touchless. You don't even have to move your arms. You just, I don't know what the word is. You just sleepwalk to the bathroom.
I could still be sleeping doing all that. That would be amazing.
Yes. Right.
All right. And then before we go, we had one last thing that I think both of us are super excited about.
I'm very excited about this.
I love ice cream, and I'm assuming you love ice cream. And the problem with ice cream is sometimes you want it now and you don't have it. So so our last one is actually called the Cold Snap, and it is actually kind of like a Keurig. So it has these little canisters.
Yep.
You put it into the Cold Snap, and have you made ice cream before, Joey?
No, actually, there was when I was growing up, in my parents' house, my mother had an ice cream machine. She did once in a while. She would just try like vanilla to see if it worked and blah blah, and that's it. But I've never done it myself.
And it would still take some time too, right? Like half an hour or something. So with the Cold Snap, the cool thing about this, pun not intended, is it takes about 60 to 90 seconds to make your ice cream, and it is ready to go.
Yeah, that's great.
So I really love this idea, because who doesn't want ice cream?
The only thing that I'm not a fan of is that I heard it's like $1,000.
Yeah, so so it's not going to come out until 2022, and it's going to cost anywhere between $500 and $1,000, and then the pods or the canisters that you get are going to be about $250 to $3 range. But
I thought you were going to say 300. I almost fell over.
but you're paying for convenience, which I love. And then
it's only one bowl of ice cream per canister, right?
I think so. But
I guess if they're $2 each or whatever, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that's partially why it is because the amount.
I can't wait to get like 3 of these so I can have one in my bedroom, one in my home office here, and one in my living room.
You don't want one in your
That's
bathroom
amazing.
too. So while you're letting your
So
sleepwalking
it's going in one way and coming out the other.
And hey, you can
God.
because you don't have to touch your toilet anymore.
That's right. I could just touch the ice cream in front of me.
So
I would like to. Maybe I can rig up something with the Raspberry Pi where it's just a giant straw that goes from the canister, not from the canister, from the opening, the spout, right to my mouth. So I don't even need the bowl or a spoon or anything. It just goes right in.
instant mouth delivery. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I love this.
Featuring new IMD technology. Instant mouth delivery.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing. That's another product where I think of like, Keurig has been around for so long now. How did nobody else think of anything else like that? Like the the soda thing is a thing now.
Have you
It's the
have,
same thing as a
have you
Keurig. You put it in a little canister and makes your own soda.
so
Soda Stream, that's what it is.
so
Um,
will this blow your mind, Joey? So last year, I can't get in Utah, but there is actually a pod machine that actually makes beer for you.
what?
Yeah,
Where? I want one.
it brews beer for you. So you just put the pod in, and then it does the fermentation and everything for you.
I never heard of this.
So yeah, there's a beer one and there's a hard liquor one too. So you want
Oh my God, that's amazing.
you want instant cocktails? You just put it in, cocktail ready to go. The beer one takes a little while because you
That's
got to ferment
crazy.
it. But
If you go on YouTube, there's a guy that made an automatic bartender with a Raspberry Pi.
so
And it's got a list of drinks you can do, and you just punch in the code on a little number pad he's got, and it runs a script, and it tells the thing what it tells the Pi what tubes to spray. So it's got one in a bottle of amaretto, for example, or one in vodka, one in soda, one in an orange juice, and every certain amount of hours it goes through a cycle where it cleans itself, and then it spits out the garbage. So it uses water to clean it, spits out the garbage in the back, and then you just dump that once a day or whatever it is, and it's amazing. I had no idea there was like a beer thing that would do that.
yeah,
That's great.
there's a beer one. The beer one's actually been around for a while. And then I know the last year it was like mixed drinks. So you just buy the pods. And the cool thing about a lot of these is they're usually app connected. So when you're low in supplies, you get a little ding on your phone, or you can set it to automatically just reorder the supplies. And then you're like, oh yeah, more of that. So
that's amazing.
That's why I'm excited.
I'm very excited about this cold snap thing. I very much want to check this out.
Yeah, and if,
like I'm hoping there's like Best Buy, Walmart, Target, whatever, wherever they're going to sell these. I don't know, but I'm hoping that there's at least one on display, or maybe there's like maybe someone's going to open up an ice cream shop that exclusively uses these.
Yeah, that's one of the sad parts that I wish, if this wasn't digital CES, I probably could have been by now come back and told you how the ice cream tasted.
Oh, dude, you would have. Yeah, you'd have had 3 bowls of it by now.
Yeah, so that is the cold snap. And then so that's all.
I'm very excited about that.
That's all we have this time for our CES coverage. Joey, I wanted to thank you so much for being here. I super appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, brother. This is fun, man. We got to do something together again, man.
Yeah.
I this is the first time I'm actually seeing you. Obviously not in person, but the last time we saw each other in person, I think it was 17, maybe.
Yeah, that's been a while.
Was Nerd 17, but this is the first time seeing you in a very long time. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah. And then so if people want to follow all the stuff, because Joey, he's a content creator too. So where should people go to check out your stuff?
I'm all over the place. Facebook, Twitter.
I love your tweets, Twitter. By the way. I love your tweets. when
you know what my favorite the tweets that get the most. Well, I got something the other day that got 6,200 likes, and my phone went insane. I had to turn off the notifications. But when I do the predictive, you ever see my predictive text tweets?
Yeah.
They don't make any sense. People are like, I don't understand. What does this mean? I don't know. I literally just type in like the or hi or yes or any word, and I just hit the predictive text 15 times till it makes a full tweet, and it's just stuff that doesn't make any sense. It's just nonsense words thrown together once in a while to make it look like there's some sort of vocabulary structure. I'll jump in like in random spots and put like a period or a comma or a question mark just to see what people say. And I get people like, I don't understand any of this. One guy I found DMs, not DMs, Facebook inbox messages a while back that said, dude, you should check your Twitter because I think you got hacked. And then the next, I never saw it because it was in that other inbox where if someone's not in your friends list, the message will go there. I just saw this like 3 or 4 months ago. This is that recent. And then I must have said something on Twitter because the next message was, "Oh my God, never mind. I just saw your latest tweet and I thought you were, and I guess you're just in a wacky mood or something like that." So I must have said something on Twitter like, "No, I didn't get hacked. It's really me." But I love doing the predictive text thing. But anyway, yeah. So Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, everything is Joey Image. Instagram, all social media. You can find me at Joey Image TV. JoeyImage@gmail.com if you want to contact me for any reason. Send me all your hate mail. Send me your love letters. Send me your pictures of your dog because I just got one. So
pet pictures are always appreciated anywhere.
Yes, and I don't know. The most important things are my Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And again, Joey Image TV.
Yeah, right here, YouTube. Joey's always a great streamer too.
I need to redo that, or not redo. I need to update that Office video because that was 17, and it's changed a lot. I've gotten a lot more tech, a lot more stuff since then. I need to change my PS5, stuff like that.
Fun fact: Joey Image is an anagram for ye old Mage J.
Wow. I like that.
So, yeah, thank you so much. And if you guys enjoyed our coverage of CES 2021, leave in the comments below. You know, we got to, if you want Joey and I to, you know, cover more of these conventions and stuff and give you recaps, like, think of how insane it would be if Joey and I did E3. You know,
I have to get there.
You know, you guys would want to see that. So, yeah, Joey, thank you so much. I know it's getting late over there, so thank you so much. And
thanks for having me, brother.
And then for everybody else watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and check out all the other CES footage CES coverage that we've done. I've been doing a lot of interviews and we're posting them up. So if you want to see some other cool things like the Cool Snap, make sure you pay attention to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ktdata. And we'll see you guys next time.